OK, let's move on to Rio now, and the decision was taken before Julia Gillard left, and that was well, at least it's a proposal, but it's almost certainly be adopted later in the year, that Australia will have the biggest marine parks in the world. We'll listen here now to Tony Burke and then Ron Boswell from the National Party.
A child with a bucket playing on the beach. It's been the same game for about 100 years or more, but the contents of the bucket are different now to what they used to be. They're chemically different, they're physically different. The next question that has to be asked by law for 60 days will be, do we go ahead with it or do we not? I've got no doubt what my view is and how I want that consultation to run.
Well, my answer to him is go and ask your Labor colleagues in marginal seats, and they'll quite rightly tell you, don't touch it. It might be all right for the Prime Minister to go to Rio, to an environmental conference over there, and say, look at us, we've got the biggest marine park in the world. And she might get a lot of accolades over there, but she certainly won't be getting too many in Australia.
So it might be a bit of a problem in Queensland, but broadly across the board, you'd think it'd be reasonably popular. What we saw all week was sort of wall-to-wall screensavers, you know, with fish and coral, and all of that was a good look. What do you think, though, Andrew? Problems in Queensland?
I think Queensland's the big problem for Labor on this one. In WA, there have been problems down off Margaret River. Those areas have been very keenly sought after with recreational fishermen. But up north, you've got areas of oil and gas that are largely not going to be affected by this, and also there have been there are already a lot of oil and gas exploration licences out there, so it's not going to affect that so much. But I think Queensland, I think we were talking about this before, that Queensland's going to be quite problematic for Labor insofar as that sort of grassroots campaign against Labor from the recreational fishermen.
It's the recreational fishermen rather than the commercial fishermen, I think, that have the political weight, although it's not entirely clear why, because some recreational fishermen like the idea of these marine parks, because as the population of the fish is restored within the park, they don't know where the boundary is. They go over the boundary and be caught by and there's very good fishing outside it. Secondly, when you look at the map, it's not affecting immediate coastal longways at all. A lot of it's a long way out to sea. In the case of the Coral Sea, it's hundreds of kilometres by the look of it, where the full exclusion zone is underway. And there's 3 zones. In most of the areas, recreational fishing is still allowed. It's only 1 zone where it's not. So I think it's overstated what the political problem is, as long as Tony Burke can get that across.
It may also be, though, that the case that the political gain for the government's pretty marginal as well. I mean, obviously, a number of people who support the government already, the Greens, whose votes mostly come back to the government, will be happy that the government's had the guts to do this, but I don't know, too many people...
Tourism operators like it. They like it.
Now,